I discovered David Foster Wallace when I listened to his 2005 speech, This Is Water. I was blown away by someone who has such a complex, nuanced, and in-depth understanding of the pitfalls of the human psyche, where daily awareness of the simple beauty in life had been replaced by short-sighted frustration, anger, and despair. Wallace had major depressive disorder for most of his life, having been hospitalized for alcoholism, drug addiction, and suicide attempts only prior to his writing of his 1996 novel, Infinite Jest, which catapulted him into fame, critical acclaim, and by all accounts, a successful career as a writer. But Wallace reportedly struggled to write after Infinite Jest, and after going on and off antidepressant medication, took his own life in 2008. In his speech, Wallace commented on the famous quote, "The mind is an excellent servant, but a terrible master," denigrating it for its inherent cliché-ness, nevertheless saying how fundamentally true the concept that the ultimate battle of life is mastering your own head. Most humans move through life chasing material items, career success, and anything that will bring them the mystical happiness that they have been promised by achieving such feats. However, how many people can you think of that have achieved all avenues of success, but have ended up alone, depressed, and eventually dead by their own hand? This is what I believed most terrified Wallace. How can he have achieved such success and be so adored, yet still be unhappy? The dread that this realization brings is that nothing can save you from your own head. No matter how hard you try to boost the ego with achievement, it still stands on a house of cards, having the appearance of structure, yet fragile beyond belief. It seems that our minds do not care about past achievements to be happy, but are intensely preoccupied by our present process of achieving itself. This truly defines a happy life as a struggle for achievement. As an analogy to surfing, we do not say that we are happiest out of the wave, but in the wave, navigating the chaos and order of trying to pull something off, not knowing whether we will crash and get washed or ride through to the end. But culture and media tells us differently. Buy these products and you'll be happy. Buy this drink and you'll be happy. We are told that happiness is an endpoint, a destination to be achieved. Yet this could not be further from the truth. The notion of Wallace's This Is Water is that the true work of a lifetime is to cultivate awareness. Awareness that the true power you possess is the ability to interpret events. As Shakespeare wrote, "There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." We can all relate to the example of watching a car weave at high speed through traffic, yet our initial judgment is that this person must be crazy, unhinged, and will kill someone. Yet it is not entirely impossible that this person is driving someone suffering a stroke to the hospital, and that it is us that are in their way. Both interpretations are possible, yet one causes us distress and one causes us empathy and understanding. So why do we automatically resort to the one that makes us pissed off and angry? Wallace spoke of how this is due to our natural self-centeredness, our default setting, our predilection to view ourselves at the center of all events, the interpretation that everyone is just in our way. This is often a problem with depression. The depressed person always sees themselves in their own way, which increasingly causes anger and frustration at oneself, which further exacerbates the hopelessness of depression. In his novel Infinite Jest, he masterfully described the depressive person who tries to kill themselves, doesn't do so out of quote hopelessness or any abstract conviction that life's assets and debits do not square, and surely not because death seems suddenly appealing. The person in whom its invisible agony reaches a certain unendurable level will kill themselves the same way a trapped person will eventually jump from the window of a burning high-rise. A haunting description indeed. However, I think this description of depression is exactly the type of default setting answer Wallace warned of. I think there is another way to interpret the story. First, there are fire extinguishers in the forms of exercise and diet that have proven powerful for defeating depression. Yet many times depression is so intense that people may not even be able to get out of bed or do not have the energy to exercise or to even shower. This is where firefighters in the forms of doctors and therapists can rescue you with medication or address underlying causes of your depression. Wallace's interpretation is that there seems to be no way out. Either burn or fall to your death. Wallace's wife, Karen Green, said that people don't understand how ill he was. It was a monster that just ate him up. Wallace said that it's a matter of choosing to do the work of somehow altering or getting free of my natural, hardwired default setting, which is to be deeply and literally self-centered, and to see and interpret everything through this lens of self. What is so tragic about David Foster Wallace was that he was so aware of the way the mind worked, how it can twist your inner dialogue into a nightmare, and yet armed with this knowledge, could not save himself from his own demise. He warned against this natural self-centeredness, and yet left his wife to find him dead on the back porch, which he said triggered intense post-traumatic stress and anger. The lesson from Wallace's death is that it is clear that knowledge alone of depression, the tools and understanding ways to beat back the flames, does not come close to stopping the horrendous inner dialogue that can plague a person. It takes doing the hard work of continually beating back the flames, since the fire is never out, only controlled.